Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're putting on our detective hats because we are going to crack one of the trickiest cases out there, figuring out when one thing actually makes another thing happen. So let's just start with a mystery. I mean, you see patterns everywhere, right? But how do you know for sure if one thing is truly causing another? This question, believe me, it trips up even the smartest people. But by the end of this, you're going to know exactly how to spot the difference. Okay, take a look at this. For decades, two things have been moving up together, almost perfectly: the amount of sugar Americans eat and the average temperature of the whole planet. I mean, you can see it right there on the chart. The lines are practically twins. As one goes up, the other goes up. It's a crazy pattern. It really looks like an open and shut case, doesn't it? So seriously, is your sweet tooth literally heating up the earth? And what about this one from back in the day? Picture this. It's the 1940s. Parents are absolutely terrified of a disease called polio. At the exact same time, ice cream is getting super popular. And then officials notice this chilling pattern. Whenever ice cream sales shoot up, so do the number of new polio cases. It was a terrifying connection. So what is going on here? You know, our brains are basically pattern-finding machines. It's how we survived. But sometimes that amazing skill can lead us down completely the wrong path, making us see connections that aren't really there. To solve these mysteries, we need a plan. And here it is. This is our mission plan. We're going to look at the connection, learn to spot the clues, dodge the big causation trap, and finally find the how. By the end, you'll have a new superpower for spotting the truth. Let's do this. All right, first up, the mysterious connection. The very first step in any investigation is just noticing. Noticing that strange feeling you get when two totally different things seem to be moving in perfect sync. Now, let's talk about spotting the clues. In detective work, a pattern like this is a clue. But in science and stats, this clue has a special name, and understanding it is step one to solving the entire mystery. That name is correlation. And I know it sounds kind of complicated, but it's not. It just means two things have a relationship. They move together in a way you can predict. Think about it like a seesaw. When one side goes up, you know for a fact the other side is going to go down. That's a relationship. That's a correlation. Simple. Now, these clues, these correlations, can point in two different directions. You've got a positive correlation. That's when both things move together. When one goes up, the other goes up. Like more CO2 in the air and higher global temperatures. Then there's a negative correlation. That's when they move in opposite directions. For example, as we get less forest land on Earth, global temperatures tend to go up. See? One down, one up. But listen up, because this is where most people get totally tricked. A clue is just a clue. It is not the whole story. And falling for this trap is one of the biggest mistakes you can possibly make. This brings us to the single most important rule in our whole detective handbook. Seriously, if you remember just one thing today, make it this: correlation is not causation. Just because two things are happening together, it doesn't mean one is making the other happen. So let's go back to our ice cream mystery. It's a strong correlation for sure, but now we know it's a trap. So what was really going on? If ice cream wasn't the bad guy, who was? Well, the real culprit was a hidden suspect, a secret player behind the scenes that was actually pulling all the strings. And that hidden suspect was summer. Okay, so let's break this down. It's actually really simple. In the summer, it gets hot, right? When it's hot, what do people do? They eat more ice cream. Makes sense. At the same time, the polio virus just happened to spread more easily in warmer weather, especially at places like crowded public pools. So ice cream didn't cause polio. Summer caused both. So to prove one thing actually causes another, we need way more than just a clue. We need to find the how. We need a mechanism. We have to be able to tell the story of exactly what's happening. Causation. Now that's the smoking gun. That's the proof. It's not enough to say two things are connected. For real causation, you have to be able to explain the how, that step-by-step process, that chain reaction that shows how A directly leads to B. And this right here shows the difference perfectly. We can show exactly how burning fossil fuels causes temperatures to rise, because there's a clear mechanism. Step 1, we burn fossil fuels, right? That releases CO2. Step 2. That CO2 goes into the atmosphere and acts like a blanket, trapping heat from the sun. Step 3. The more CO2, the thicker the blanket, and the hotter the planet gets. See? That's the story. That's causation. And just like that, you're the detective. You now have the most important tool in your kit, the ability to look right past the clue and search for the real cause, the how. So let's bring it all home and deliver the final verdict. Sugar and global temperature, that's a classic correlation. The lines go up together, yeah, but there is no scientific reason, no mechanism that explains how eating a candy bar could warm the planet. It's just a coincidence. But CO2 and temperature, that's causation, because we have that clear, proven, step-by-step mechanism. Case closed. Say it with me one more time, nice and loud. Correlation is not causation. Now you know the difference. You can't be fooled by a simple pattern anymore. Okay, pop quiz time, detective. Your favorite team wins every single time you wear your lucky jersey. You haven't washed it all season. Is that a correlation, or is your smelly jersey actually causing them to win? Think about it. Is there a mechanism? And what about this one? You study really hard for a test and you get an A? Is that just a correlation? Or is it causation? Well, is there a clear how there? You bet. Studying puts information in your brain. That information lets you answer questions correctly on the test. That's a mechanism. That's causation. You now have one of the most powerful thinking tools there is. So the next time you see a headline or a video claiming one thing causes another, you'll know exactly what to ask. Is this just a pattern? Or is there a real story, a real mechanism connecting them? Go on, be a detective.